Drama. Stories composed in verse or prose, usually for theatrical performance, where conflicts and emotions are expressed through dialogue and action. Fable. Narration demonstrating a useful truth, especially in which animals speak as humans. Legendary supernatural tale. Fairy tale. Story about fairies or other magical creatures, usually for children. Fantasy. Fiction with strange or otherworldly settings or characters. Fiction which invites suspension of reality. Fiction. Narrative literary works whose content is produced by the imagination and is not necessarily based on fact. Fiction in verse, full-length novels with plots, subplots, themes, major and minor characters, in which the narrative is presented in usually blank verse form. Folklore, the songs, stories, myths, proverbs, people as handed down by word of mouth. Historical fiction, story with fictional characters and events, a historical set. Horror, fiction in which events evoke a feeling of dread in both the characters and the readers. Humor, fiction full of fun, fancy, and excitement to entertain, can be contained in all genres. Legend, story, sometimes of a national folk hero, which has a basis and also includes imaginative mystery, fiction dealing with the solution of a crime or the unraveling of secrets. Mythology, legend or traditional narrative, often based part on historical events that reveals human behavior and natural phenomena by its symbolism pertaining to the actions of the gods. Poetry, verse and rhythmic with imagery that creates emotional responses. Realistic fiction, story that can actually happen and is true to life. Science fiction, story based on impact of actual magic or potential science, usually set in the future or on other planets. Short story, fiction of such brevity that it supports no subplots. Tall tale, humorous story with blatant exaggerations, swaggering heroes who do the impossible with nonchalance.
착한 얼굴에 그렇지 못한 태도, 가녀린 몸에 쏙